By the way, thank you to everybody that's putting comments. That's great. I don't think I can respond to them on the mobile, and even if I could, I wouldn't be able to type and hold the camera straight. I'm hoping to get a better stabilizer so I can walk with the camera and it not move around as much. So they should get better over time. I did buy one late last year called Flow Motion. But it turned out to be rubbish, so I'm sending it back and see if I can get a refund and get a better one. So please bear with me while it's a little bit wobbly. This is the River Thames, if you didn't know. I live near the Thames and I love it. There's a lot of history to this river. It's going to go through a tunnel now. I hope the signal stays up. I think it will. If not, it'll come back at the other end and I'll restart the stream if it breaks, so bear with me. I think we'll be okay. I can already hear there's going to be buskers in here. That's a good idea. DJI Osmo. You can see, by the way, over there, that's the Financial Times headquarters, the famous financial newspaper. We can't see it, but that's the FT's headquarters. Okay, we're back out the other side now. South Bank. You can see St Paul's Cathedral over on the other side of the Thames. Took a lot of bombs, or a lot of bombing in the Second World War by the German Luftwaffe. But firemen and volunteer firemen from London spent a lot of time, actually while it was being bombed, putting the fires out. So it stayed there. And we're glad it stayed there. I'll just stop here for a moment and let you watch the boats. It's about 9 degrees centigrade here today, so it's a bit chilly. I'm not even wearing a coat. I always seem to be fairly warm whatever the weather, but for December it's crazy. I feel sorry for the polar bears. It should be 0 or even snowing. Thames never freezes, by the way. It used to freeze. In fact, there are famous pictures of people skating on the River Thames, but not in my lifetime, and I'm ridiculously old.
That's a pretty cool one, that.
That over there, by the way, is the City of London. It's known as the City of London. It's actually a separate city within Greater London, where all the financial people work in those big buildings. I'm told that 40% of the UK's GDP, gross domestic product, is generated within that square mile. It's only a mile. I think it's either the smallest or the second smallest city in the world after the Vatican. But it's hugely important to the British economy. Of course, we've got Brexit coming up in March 2019. I'm recording this on the 6th of January 2019, so who knows what's going to happen after that. Okay, we're going to walk along a little bit further now. I'll be quiet in a moment, but we're just coming up to Shakespeare's Globe. Never actually been in. I'm told it doesn't have a roof, which is a bit silly in London, given that we live on a small island surrounded by sea and are famous for our bad weather. So I'm actually going to go for lunch at this pub later called the Swan. It's one of my friend's birthday, so I'm treating her to lunch at the Swan, which looks quite posh. But I'm just going to go and show you the Globe. So that's Shakespeare Globe, which I think is mainly the pub, but here's the actual building.
Oh yeah, because I didn't think the method of rail car now, so it should land somewhere.
Thank you. Oh, there you go. Shakespeare's Globe. Globe Theatre, to be more accurate. It's not so much of a globe as a round thing. Okay. Let's walk a little further up here. Ah, Chindu, you've been here. I hope that's how I pronounce your name. It is Millennium Bridge, and it goes from Thames here, where I am. And by the way, you can just see through here the Tate Modern Museum. In fact, I'll go up a little bit further so you can see that. Yeah, so it goes from the Tate Modern, which is a free museum. If you're into art, it's worth the trip. A lot of it's a bit weird. Toilets and stuff like that. Pretending to be art, but I don't understand that stuff. I can see comments flashing up, and I very rarely can read them in time. I can't really see very much anyway, even with my glasses on. Okay, so there's Tate Modern. And then if we look across the river, follow Millennium Bridge, we'll see St Paul's. There's a boat going by the way, the Symphony, which I'm told has really good food on it. So you can see everybody scoffing Sunday lunch. Not my idea of fun, eating on a boat. It's probably quite expensive as well, because most people seem to have grey hairs and they're the only ones that can afford this kind of stuff nowadays, I think. Yeah, so there's St Paul's Cathedral. And what I was going to say about the Millennium Bridge is it was designed, I believe, by Sir Archibald Foster. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone's probably got Google there. And when it first opened, it was closed fairly soon afterwards, because the original design, as soon as people started walking across it, started wobbling to the point where there was a risk of it failing and falling into the Thames and everybody being killed, or at least made very wet, which was a huge embarrassment for him, given that you know, he's such a famous architect, and you would have thought with all the computers forecast that, or they would have simulated it. But if you've ever been in the services, you'll know that when you walk across a bridge, they tell you to break step. So a bunch of people marching or walking in pretty much unison can cause huge pressure waves, so they had to close it and then fix it. I don't know how they fixed it, but now it no longer wobbles very much. I mean, you can feel it a little bit. It no longer wobbles, but it's still known colloquially as the Wobbly Bridge, and always will be. I think it's quite a nice name for it. But if you walk across there, you get to St Paul's Cathedral, and then you're on the north of the Thames, and you can have a wander around. And of course, there's a lot of stuff on the north of the Thames. If you ever look at a map of London, you'll see that. Oh, anti-wobble cream. Yeah, that was it. Anti-wobble cream. I'll have to get some of that for my grandma. Yeah, if you look at a map of London, or go on Google Earth and look at it, most of the stuff that's in from the north of the river, south of the river, where I live, Bermondsey, and Southwark, which is where we are now. Ah. Should be back now. Don't know why it does that sometimes. I'm on 4G, but sometimes it just does that. I'm assuming I'm back now. If you can see the stream, just leave a comment, please, so I can tell it's back up. Yeah, someone said I'm back. Good. JP, thank you. For some reason this live streaming just cuts off every now and again, even though I'm on 4G. That's a police speedboat. We get a lot of those, particularly late at night. When the stream failed, but I was saying I live on the south side of the river, and most of the interesting stuff in London, or at least the famous stuff, is on the north side of the river. It's obviously a lot cheaper to live on the south of the river than the north, but one of the advantages of living on the south is that we get to look at all the interesting stuff and the posh people on the north, whereas the rich people who live in the expensive houses on the north get to look at peasants like me and boring stuff. Because the south of the river used to be, and to an extent still is, the poor cousin of the north. In fact, Southwark, where we are now, used to be a place of ill repute. People from the north would come to the south to enjoy the, well, let's just say to enjoy themselves, and you can fill in the blanks yourself. I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. Which station is that, JP? Which station do you love? Oh, okay. I've got some videos of Southwark Station. I'll go over there. Make a point of doing that this week sometime if I can. Thing is, I don't do this for a living. This doesn't pay any money, so I have to work. So I generally just tend to video where I'm going anyway. But I did apply to YouTube to have it monetized, so maybe they'll start at least paying for the travel card. That would help one day. Who knows? I'm not really doing it for the money. Just do it for the fun. Okay, so there's the Tate Modern. What I'm going to do now is walk back along the Thames to near Shakespeare's Globe, and then I'll stick the iPhone. You'll just watch the river for a little bit and I'll shut up. And then I'll go for lunch. Hope it doesn't cut off again as I walk back. In fact, you know what? I'm going to see if I can walk through, just checking the time. I'm okay. I'm just going to see if I can call. I wonder if I walk through, Tate Modern, whether or not it'll cut off. We can see. Probably get told off, but I've always thought it's best to ask for forgiveness rather than permission. Well, there we go. Bag checks. Oh, I'm not going to go through bag checks, it'll take forever. I'll do that another time.
Walk through the hilltops and go to our sweet Margarita, take me with me. My that is around. I don't wanna let me go. I got it, I take it, make some love. Take me all the way. I don't wanna let me go. I got it, I take it, make some love. Take me all the
See you, JP. Shakespeare's Globe again.
Because we got lost.